They do not want this to be successful. They're going to hate. They're going to be dirty. They're going to be grimy. It's just what it is, and it's something that I've certainly always anticipated.
The first time I ever encountered Eric July was about 3 years ago, shortly after watching that god-awful Captain Marvel movie. He was the first person that I found to take Marvel to task for the trash they were putting out. And what I appreciated about what he was saying is, it wasn't just smack talk. He really broke it down and explained how the MCU was retconning classic pieces of work to fit into their progressive agenda. To me, that was crucial, because for a long time I felt isolated on the issue, because I thought I was the only one who recognized it. And I'm not a comic book expert. I'm more of an anime manga type of guy. I have a layman's knowledge of Marvel and DC comics. But even I noticed how they were getting away from the source material and using their platform, movies and comics, as a soapbox to preach their agenda. But what I appreciate most about what Eric July does is his proactive approach to the problem. He recognized a need within the market and got active. Not only has he stopped patronizing Marvel and DC, he started his own comic book series. And to everyone's surprise, it's doing well. It's doing exceptionally well. As of right now, while I'm recording this video, it's generated more than $2 million in sales. Naturally, that has drawn a lot of attention. The mainstream press has caught wind of his success, and his story has been all over social media. But that's also drawn out a lot of haters, as well as people who can't comprehend his success. Now, for me, it's obvious. I see why he's succeeding. Because people are tired of the bullcrap. They're tired of seeing their favorite forms of entertainment being used as instruments of propaganda. Let me give you an example, and bear with me, this is a wild story. I remember listening to another YouTube personality a while back tell a story about how he got a lap dance from a stripper who was also trying to preach to him. She was bouncing around and grinding up against him while simultaneously sharing her testimony and telling him he needed to get saved. Needless to say, he was pissed, and she lost him as a customer because he didn't come to a strip club wanting to hear a sermon on salvation from a stripper. He was there to relax and do whatever men do in a strip club. Now, I know that's an extreme example, but it's a perfect illustration of what's wrong with socially conscious forms of entertainment. People don't want to be lectured when they're just trying to have a good time, because people live hard lives. Studies show 70% of Americans hate their job, 65% live paycheck to paycheck, and 75% say they didn't marry their true love. That means the overwhelming majority of working people get up every morning, fight traffic, just so they can go to a job they don't like, that doesn't pay them enough money to support a family or lifestyle they can't afford with a spouse they don't love. That's a hard way to live, yet so many people do it every day. It's why I believe so many people self-medicate with alcohol, narcotics, food, sex, and pornography. Those are all coping mechanisms, things people do to take their minds off of the day-to-day stress of life. And then there are those who do none of the above. They instead look to entertainment as their drug of choice. When they turn on their favorite sporting event, binge watch their favorite show or movie, they're trying to escape reality. For that moment, be it 2, 3, 4 hours, they just want to forget or ignore everything that's going wrong in life. They want to shut off their brains and focus on something meaningless. They don't want to hear political commentary when they're looking for highlights, rants on race and immigration when they're trying to watch their favorite show, propaganda from the alphabet community when they're watching a movie. Like a sermon on salvation at a strip club, politics don't belong in comic books or movies. And unfortunately, that's exactly what consumers are getting from Marvel, Disney, and the MCU. They're getting nonstop lectures on how to be the type of people they think they should be, wrapped up in their favorite forms of entertainment. And fatigue is beginning to set in. American comic book sales have been abysmal the past few years. And with the exception of Spider-Man, every movie within Phase 4 of the MCU has underperformed, either in terms of critical review or box office revenue. Same for the shows on Disney+. With the exception of WandaVision and Loki, all of their shows have been terrible. And that last show they put out, Miss Marvel, I don't have the words to express how awful that was. And there doesn't seem to be a change in sight. Judging from their upcoming projects, they're committed to driving the brand into the ground. All I'm saying is, there's a market for what Eric July is doing, an underserved market for what he's doing. That's why I'm not surprised at the success he's having, because he doesn't have any competition. So why the hate? Eric July is a black man married to a black woman who created an independent comic featuring a positive, strong black character. Why would a fellow black comic book publisher like Black Sands Entertainment go on Instagram and throw shade at him? And that's another thing I want to touch on. Black people, we got to stop doing this stuff. In the black community, we've got to stop this "there can be only one mindset," because we're the only group of people that think that way. Indian, Arabic, and Hispanic people don't behave that way. Asians and members of the J community don't either. They all look out for one another. When one makes it, the other reaches back and pulls the other up. And if they find someone else that looks like them, they network. Black people are the only people that get mad when they see someone who looks like them sitting at the table. We immediately try to destroy one another. We can never celebrate two brothers having success doing the same thing. We gotta pick sides. And each side has to hate the other. If you're Black Sands Entertainment, why not celebrate Eric July? Why not celebrate his success? Why not look to collaborate with him? Crap like this is one of the reasons why we stay losing as a people, because we're fixated on organizing these circular firing squads. Now, I doubt if he's listening, but to the gentleman that runs Black Sands Entertainment, that was some A1 coon shit, bro. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. But getting back to my point, why all the hate? Because progressives, for all their talk about advancing people of color, don't like it when those same people of color don't go along with the program. They think they own a monopoly on black men, that we all belong to them. We're supposed to think and do whatever they tell us to do. And because they champion the alphabet community, feminism, socialism, and all that other stuff, we're supposed to do the same. And when we don't follow suit and have success without their permission, there's hell to pay, especially when it comes to the alphabet community. For the past 10 years, the media has joined black culture and gay culture at the hip. Every new show targeted for black people that has come along in the past few years has been a Trojan horse for their propaganda. But unfortunately for them, Eric July's Rippaverse isn't a part of that program. And that makes him their enemy. And they hate him because he's doing it without them. They hate him because he's doing it without their permission.